I'm Nick Samari. I'm with Riverstone. Anthony Lucas, he's here from Riverstone as well. So I'm gonna have Anthony taking some notes, writing down the feedback, but we are thrilled to have you guys here. It's a great event that Bill puts on. It's something special. I don't think there's a ton of dealers that could probably get this kind of turnout, but he does a good job. You know, we've got a lot of great dealers, and Bill is one of the best. So I think you all know that, so. Yeah. All right, I guess let's start. Let's get right into it. Kind of raise your hand, I'll work my way through the room. If there's something we need to go a little more in depth, we can after. So who has something they have a question on, or a concern, or some feedback they'd like to get back to us? It can be anything from products we're using to why we put a cabinet where we did. You know, any of the above.
Why did you guys decide to get rid of the 37 FLTH?
All right, so discontinuing the 37 FLTH. You know, it's a question we get a lot, actually. You know, we can only build so many floor plans. And the 37 FLTH, I thought it was a great floor plan. Honestly, it was on the chopping block for probably 2 years before we cut it. And it came down and would look at it and go, man, we still sell a few of them. Bill probably did better with it than about any other dealer in the country. At the end of the day, the 42 FSKG, which is gonna have that same garage, outsold the FLTH about 6 to 1. And no matter how much you love a floor plan, if it's been around for, I think that was there 4 years, and you're going to introduce new floor plans, eventually when it's always in the bottom 2 or 3 for volume, you have to cut it. I'd like to keep more and more floor plans, but the more floor plans we have, it's more challenging to produce, especially at our volume. You know, we don't build a ton of units. And when you're constantly changing what floor plan's coming down the line, or you're running a floor plan once a month or once every 6 weeks, you're running 4 or 5 of them, you end up with a lot of production challenges, and it throws a wrench in the entire process. So that's really the end of the day, it was the volume. That's usually when we cut a floor plan. I know the FLTH, the people that like it love it, but it just did not have the volume to keeping the line up. Yeah. You got another one? Yeah.
I got one more.
Yeah.
The electric slides for the front on that FLTH, our side, both slides prepared quickly by the old guys. So far it's working, but every time we go to open and shut, we're holding our breath. That is not supposed to work. Because we've been stuck in both, home and in South Carolina. But they really work. Have you guys come up with an update for them, or, I mean, we have, or the new updates, new pieces that we put on, they put on, are they going to work forever, or?
What,
I talked to a lot of people here, and they seem to all have the same issues.
Yeah, so the Schwintek slides have had some issues over the years. I don't have a good answer for you. There's a couple things. One, when you run them, make sure you're running them all the way in, all the way out. I'm not saying you didn't. But what can happen is those motors can lose sync and you start getting the twisty. And that's not the only thing that can happen with them. There's not a perfect solution for those raised floor slides. The Schwinteks, I don't know if they have changed anything to the Schwintek itself. It does not seem that our units the past, I would say, it seems like the last year and a half or so, I have not had as many issues as we had at times. We're searching for a new alternative there. It's not out there yet, but we're working with some guys. I'm hoping to have something this year. That doesn't obviously help everyone out there in the field. You know, it's not an item that is a constant failure, but I know it's an item that have had issues. Unfortunately, until someone develops a new slide system, and there are guys working on some new stuff that, again, hope to be available in the next 6 months maybe. Basically an updated version that's gonna have more room for floating on the sides and just a little more stable. Until that's available and out there, the Schwintek really is, we feel, the best option. It's that or a cable slide or the slim racks. And the slim racks are not perfect. That's what we used on these signatures. And the cables aren't perfect either. We've protoed cable slides, but there's no way to get a hydraulic slide into those front sofa or front kitchen slides. There just isn't. We shouldn't have a lot of issues on those sofa slides, but I know at times it seems like when it happens, it's tough to get through. And I know it's a critical component, so that's something we're always trying to work towards. Yeah, I mean, we are doing, on our end, we've implemented more audits, we've implemented more time with Lippert, we've implemented more inspections on our end, on the framing, on all that stuff, to try to alleviate any error on our end, but I know that doesn't help someone that's having an issue today. I know there's also a number of people that have used them for a long time and not had a lot of issues too. So I don't have a great answer for you, but it is something we're working on. Yeah.
Lubrication, yes or no on Schwinteks?
New what?
Lubrication. Some say yes, some say no.
Where's one of the certified techs in the audience? How do you guys feel about it?
So, Lippert just put out a video a couple of weeks ago saying that their recommendation to lubricate was based on an old system before 2014, right? So people were getting confused that was the guidance for the new ones. But I think the consensus now is do not lube the new ones.
Don't put anything on the tracks.
Yeah.
Don't put anything on the motors.
So
dirt free as possible.
the answer there is do not lubricate. So part of the issue on that is you collect a lot of dirt and debris when you if you lubricate those tracks. That dirt and debris can chew up teeth, it can make teeth skip, it can gunk up inside of that motor, it can create a lot of issues. So what did you say the year was 2015? 2014. So there's not a Riverstone that was built with a Schwintek when they suggested lubricating. So the RVers have a great community, and I see it online. I follow some of the forums, and I try to stay off of them because I don't want things to look too biased, but I want to pay attention to what's going on out there. You guys help each other out a lot. At times, some misinformation can get spread, something like that, because the guy who 10 years ago was told on his Schwintek slide by a Lippert rep or a Lippert tech, this needs to be lubricated on this cycle time. He legitimately thinks he's helping people out by telling people that, and they don't get the update that, hey, now it's been 10 years, and the last 10 years, we're not supposed to be lubricating them. So it's good we use each other, but sometimes you get some information like that out there, unfortunately. But
Key is, you're supposed to be level when you put the slides in the row, and you have to, Schwintek is more susceptible to that unbalance.
Yeah, if you're out of whack, if you're not level when you go to push them out, that Schwintek will have more issues. Yeah, it's not good to do it with any of your slides, but for lack of a better term, the hydraulic stuff's a little more bulletproof. It has a little more play in it, side to side. It's harder to get out of tolerance. You know, everything has a tolerance. Even that Schwintek, it's supposed to have about I can't remember if it's 3/8 or 1/4 inch tolerance with where it needs to be, but that's not very much when you start talking about a few 100-pound slide out on an unlevel surface, shifting a little bit. So that, and if you do, I know sometimes, depending on the touch screen, depending on the control system you have, the screen will, I don't want to say time out, but you'll be pressing it, and all of a sudden the slide just stops working, or your finger slips off. When that happens, when you finish the full stroke of that slide out, if it's one of the electric slides, hold it for a couple seconds. And that helps that's how it resynchronizes the motors, once it's fully extended or once it's fully in. If you do that, you can't hurt it by holding that button an extra 2 seconds. All it's gonna do is resync the motors to being in sync all the way out or all the way in. So that's what happens sometimes when you run them partially. What happens is those motors get a little off sync, and over time, that's sometimes where you get a twisting and it'll come out. And some people, you go to do it and it gets a little uneven going out, and you bring it back in and you hold that button and it resyncs, and now it works fine. The key is, if you notice it starting to slip, stop. If it starts going uneven. Because once you get too bound up, if you start skipping teeth or something, then that takes it to a different level. Little different fix. So.
Another key factor in the Schwintek is overloading them, putting a lot of storage stuff on top of sofas or in cabinets. The weight will play a big part in it too.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where a lot of times you see we use Schwinteks, we try to keep it in slides that are going to be lighter weight. But you can there's a lot of space on top of a sofa. If you use heavy enough stuff, you can overload it still. Sorry, is this on Schwinteks, or as he was trying to get one in? Okay.
So
Yeah.
everybody here might know this but me, but what product, if any, should be used on the rubber around the slide outs? I've heard pros don't put anything, and people use silicone. What should or should not be used?
Some of the stuff I'm gonna defer to, I know these guys are more than capable, and to be honest, as far as that goes aftermarket, you know, we don't do a lot of that from the factory. I know there's some products, and I've read positive and negatives, but honestly, in field, you're gonna have more experience than I do. What do you see?
So most of the RV dealerships you go into will carry some slide out conditioner.
Yeah.
And it's really simple. It's just spray on and
But,
wipe
is there
and
a
wipe
product
off.
that's recommended?
No,
There's-
it's as long as it's silicone, you don't want to use any kind of petroleum
Yeah.
based product on that. But most of them are just easy spray on and you wipe it off. And if you do that, depending upon where you are, you know, Florida sun wreaks havoc on them. But right.
Yes, there's 3-in-1, has a whole collection of I think what it's a PETFP, so it's like a dry lube, and then they've got all conditioners too. I think they've got a set of 4 or 5 products: slide, seal, and
Dry lube.
dry lube. Yeah,
It's
all on Amazon.
yeah, and it's, you know, they are a rubber component, so that's what tears them up is the sun. You can't hurt them conditioning them, but these guys suggest a product is probably pretty good, but we don't have a suggestion from the plant. That stuff is, I don't know. Sometimes it gets a little in the weeds for us on some of that stuff, but conditioning any of the rubber stuff is never gonna hurt it. You know, these take a beating in the elements. The sun's probably the hardest anything on them. Yep. Yeah.
So we do a lot of boondocking. We have the FireFly system.
Yes.
If you do auto generator, it only allows it to start 2 times. You read the newer version, I think ours is 2.7 version. I can't bypass that. So if we're out on a ride, whatever, and that generator starts twice, it's over. You literally have to go back in again and enable it. You can't bypass it.
On the auto start?
Yep. And they say it's a safety feature for techs and stuff like that, that if they're working on it, they don't want that generator to start up. But in our case, we're out in the middle of the desert and we're going for 12 hours or whatever, and just say it's a cloudy day, the generator will only start twice. Is there any newer firmware version that could be downloaded?
You're on 2.7.
I think it's 2.7.
Anthony, write that down on pianos, or take a note of that. FireFly 2.7 and the generator, 2 starts, question mark. I don't know what that means. I don't know. I did not realize that. So I'll reach out to FireFly and see. I got your information, Joe.
I know you.
Okay. What's up?
I've got a question about the BMPro system, and we're real happy with the coach and the way it works. But the BMPro system would be better for us if the Bluetooth was amplified or extended. Jordan tried to help me, but when he looked online, it says the Bluetooth extender is not available in our country. Then the second thing is that the help desk, they try to be helpful, but they don't have enough people. And I said to them, your system says that it works via the internet. And the young lady's comment, it was almost canned, was it was never intended to be a full-time internet available product. Do you know that? Did you hear that?
The remote access?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, so the question was on BMPro, kind of 2-part. One, Bluetooth signal strength, which when you talked to BMPro, did they say it's not available or just online?
I asked my local service professional, Mr. Jordan Miller, and he's researching for me.
Jordan's your local sales professional. No, I'm kidding. Jordan, get with me. I believe there's a Bluetooth. I don't know if Jordan's here. There he is.
There's an extender, but it's not available in the US yet.
Did you talk to BMPro?
I didn't talk to them, but I worked at BMPro's site, and that's where it said not available.
I believe there's a Bluetooth repeater that is available. Because I had reached out to him before on it. So I believe there is one available.
Our biggest problem is that we'd like to be remote and be able to see what's going on, check the temp, change the temp.
Which would be the internet access, right?
Yeah, we have full-time, internet's hot all the time. But we're not there. We're not.
And you can't access it all the time?
For 2 days, for 48 hours, and then after that, drops off. It's consistent 48 hours.
Sometimes that happens.
I noticed if I go in each day and just change the temperature by a degree, it stays awake, and you can keep going for days.
But
And then it goes for 3 days, and don't change nothing, it goes to sleep.
Have you updated the software on your screen inside the camper?
Don't sleep. Yeah, the don't sleep mode. Go through the iPad, go through the pad and
You said the Android tablet and update it? Because we were having problems with that, and then there was an update available, because we have the 2024 BMPro. And I was having problems connecting when I was remote, 5 miles away. And once I did that update on the Android tablet via, Wi-Fi, it has worked without issue since.
I'll ask you later how you went through all that. I appreciate it.
it was an update to, I want to double check, but it was an update to the app on the tablet, right? So the actual, when you get on that tablet, you're connecting into a BMPro app, just like on your phone. So periodically, just like your phone, you will need to update that app. And that's what he's saying. So you got to actually update that app through the Play Store or whatever on that tablet.
Correct.
Okay.
That's
That's good. Yeah, that is good information. Appreciate that. What's that?
Get directions on how to update it.
I can walk you through the steps that I did in the camper, but when you go into and I'm not an Android user, I'm an Apple user, but on the Android, there was a section there where you could connect to the app and it says update available. So when it said update available, I just hit it and it did its thing and it's worked much better ever since.
Did you mark something on BMPro? And sleeping. That's good. Yeah, well, that's why that's some of the first complaints I've heard. When we first launched it, there was an issue with the furnace turning off. They got the update done pretty quick. One thing that's nice about BMPro, so they're not gonna push something until they know they fixed it correctly, so it doesn't get pushed out and ends up with bugs that they did not see coming. Aesthetically, in the past, I've probably used something that's a little cleaner, but the system itself, it performs well for the most part. I want to check into that because I did not realize that on the 48-hour thing.
Well, maybe I'm wrong, maybe
And it could be, but we'll check into it too, because I'll be honest, that's not how it was sold to me, that it was never meant to be on all the time. That was a big reason I went with the system, right?
The lady told me specifically on the phone that this system was never intended to be full-time monitoring. I mean,
Yeah.
It's almost like a canned speech that you would, a canned response you would get from a big company. But anyway, we're gonna take this advice and fix it.
Yeah, hopefully this fixes it, but we'll be checking on our end also. So, all right.
We have an issue with a FireFly system,
Okay.
and we have a 3410 PMK.
Okay.
The app shows a 391 FSK on the app on our phone. Josh looked into it, actually called FireFly, got nowhere. We can still do what we want from our phone app, but it's really clunky. It's, it shows 4 tanks as opposed to 3. It's just 3 air conditioners, all that. And
Hey, Anthony, why don't you grab their information so we can try and get with FireFly and get what's going on? I don't know.
I'll catch up with you.
Yeah.
I'll get you.
And
Josh
information
was there
for.
trying to get it set up, and he even wasn't able to do it.
Yeah, I don't know what it would be. I have no idea. So we'll have to get to FireFly. In the unit itself, are you seeing a 3410 on the screen?
Yeah. In the unit is correct.
It's got to be something in their system that I don't know what it could be. I don't know how their system works. I wonder if it's tied to a VIN or something. Because when you register your app at the beginning, you put your VIN in, right?
And
Yeah, there's a
number, there's a code, yeah.
Something's got to be crossed there. It makes no sense that the one in your unit, because I thought it basically mirrored what's in the unit.
If you want to stop over later, I can show you exactly what it is.
I trust you too. I mean, I'll be honest, I got no idea what it would be. I'm sure you've tried, I'm sure Josh had you tried deleting and reinstalling the app and all that.
Yeah, we both have the same app, and it works the same on both phones.
That would be a good thing to get with, I think it's Gina at FireFly that's handling our stuff there now still. So, yeah.
your refrigerator question.
We're new to this. Can we run the refrigerator while we're traveling, and it's not 100% level?
Yes.
Okay.
You can. They're not as sensitive as the old propane fridges were to levelness.
Mm-hmm.
So
As long as we're not sitting this way, it's probably okay.
yeah. Yeah, I mean if it's that's what I would say. I don't know. If you're going down non-paved back roads getting deep in the woods with a lot of bouncing, maybe not run it. But no, I mean that's why a big reason why Fifth Wheels put inverters on. I'm sure it adds a little wear to it, but the vast majority of customers, I mean, that's what we know we're doing with them. And I know the brand of fridge we use, I've heard some negative things about when I'm working shows. For the most part, though, with our units, I don't see a lot of fridge issues. I don't talk to a ton. I'm sure there's someone here that's probably had a fridge issue, but I don't talk to a ton of customers with fridge issues. And I know, I mean, that's what everyone's doing. That's why we put an inverter on, so you can run it going from place to place.
Okay.
So, yes.
You got a one-drive unit, and the air conditioner is short cycle.
Okay.
And I call the Ripper, I call it domestic. Because it's the other guy's problem. It's the other guy's problem.
Okay.
It turns on, and then turns off 10 seconds later. The compressor hasn't even had time to spool up by then.
On all your air conditioners or one of them?
Both of them. I got two. Both of them.
Okay. And what do you have? What kind of unit?
Riverstone Legacy, the tow hauler in the back. Front kitchen.
The 40, it was either an
39.
FKTH. Yeah, I'd say back then it was an FKTH. It's, he's got a 39 FKTH toy hauler. It's a now 42 FSKG, but he's got the Lippert One Control app control panel, and his ACs are short cycling. So his ACs are turning on and then immediately turning off.
Even gets that heat pump too.
Yeah, so I don't know if that would be something with the One Control system or Dometic. To me, it seems, I'm trying to think of how we had it wired in that system.
The temperature drop. They did like a quarter of a degree or something instead of 1 degree or 2 degrees, because it's not got enough temperature to keep it. As soon as the fan kicks on, moves the air, turns it back up.
Okay, so that's what's, and it's
That's what's
happening when you're
happening.
trying to
I think
do
so.
a,
They didn't get the temperature drop right. They got it too close. So close that it just wants to keep coming on.
okay, so it felt like an 80-degree day and you first turn your unit on,
It runs forever until it shuts off that first time.
and then once it shuts off that first
Then it
time,
keeps going on, off. Then it will run for 10 minutes. Then it will go on, off, on. Then it will run 10 minutes. Keep the place cool, or just run all day long. You can't keep,
yeah.
Are you checking the voltage? Is it saying shed on your control panel?
It doesn't tell me what the temperature drop is. It just tells
No, he's talking about,
me. The temperature does not drop at all.
no, he's talking about power management is what he's talking about.
Oh, power management.
Yeah, so
Is the power management shedding it?
we had an issue like that. I went in, I had to change the voltage setting on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, or it just kept kicking off.
Yeah.
When they first kick on, they draw so much power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's not
I got
enough
one of
power.
those things on mine. I use it so
Do you have a power management system on
I
yours?
have no idea.
Oh yeah, you got a Legacy, you do. Do you have, so with the One Control, I think,
The AC is in the line. I know it isn't in mine.
it was for what do you have, a 20, yeah. On the 21, we did it for a year, and then that's when we switched to FireFly. And the power, I'm trying to think, do you have a precision circuits, probably rectangle about that big right above your One Control? I might have to take a look and see what's in that system to ask some questions. I don't know that I'll have an answer for you, but I got to go back and see exactly what we did. I know at one point when we were using One Control, the power management was not part of the One Control. I don't remember if it ever was. So I'm wondering if maybe could be something with the precision circuits power management system. So on FireFly and BMPro, that power management system was built into the systems.
Okay.
On the One Control, they did not have a power management system. So we used, they actually make a company called Precision Circuits makes a power management system that you could put in a unit that's just got switches and no control system. Okay. It's a standalone system. And that's what we used from 2016 through 2021 was that Precision Circuits power management. We swapped to FireFly and they had it, they could program it into their system. So.
Like right now, it says that my power management is disabled because I'm plugged into a 50 amp circuit.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? I mean, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're getting true 50 amp, you should be able to run everything. So, all right, we need to get you some more information. But that one might take a little digging, so we'll get some information from you. All right. Anybody that I say, let us get our information, make sure to get with Anthony. So the biggest thing we need to know, unit, if you know it, the last 4 of your VIN, we can always reach out to you and get it after, but phone number and a good email address in case there's some more information, you know, that we need to get you. Yes.
37 FLTH,
Yep.
the front glass leaks. So I asked Josh to figure out, you know, who we could get to take the glass out, reseal it. Because you can literally push on it and see right outside. And he had nobody, so I called all the glass companies in upstate New York around the area. And unless they have one of those glasses in their hand because they're afraid of liability of taking it out, it's gonna shatter. And then what do? Do you guys have a listing of somewhere that we can get this thing? I mean, it's 2 years old and already.
To get the glass?
Well, no, I don't. There's nothing wrong with the glass at this point in time, but I need it resealed.
Oh.
So anybody that's in the glass business obviously doesn't carry that in stock, so they're not even gonna think. They just flat out said no. And that's what Josh was running into, is nobody would wanna touch it. I don't personally wanna buy another glass just to have sitting in my garage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so what I ended up doing was buying the glass sealer, putting 3 tubes of it, silicone tubes of sealer in there just to stop it from leaking. But I really don't think that's the proper way to.
No, that gasket or seal should not have failed after
2 years.
No.
I know that slamming the back door with you know, we try to keep the door open and it increases the pressure in there, but we have
That shouldn't be enough to pop that out.
You wouldn't think so, that's the way it's built.
No.
Oh yeah. It's the glass is fine. It's they just like the car, they put that black urethane in there, and you can look right in there, and sure enough, it's, you know, you can see the air between that and that. It's pulled away from the glass.
Get us your info. I want to reach out to our cap guys and talk to them about that process, because we actually have those brought in the caps to make sure that the seals and gaskets are done correctly and try and get a solution that's a little better for you.
Yeah.
So let's get some information. That shouldn't fail like that.
Stopped. I don't know how long it's going to stay stopped, and I don't want any more water in the, you know.
Yeah, windshield or something like that, just to get it taken care of. So we'll figure it out.
Two that were somewhat, I had one scheduling, you know, he was about ready to come up and he said, take a picture of this glass. And as soon as he saw it, he goes, no.
Yeah, I mean, you're not, I need to get with our guys and figure that out, because you're not I'm not going to say, honestly, I don't remember a windshield leaking. I'm sure we've had them, you know, if I dug hard enough, but it's not a common occurrence for us. And I know you're not the first guy with an RV with a windshield that's leaked for sure.
Wouldn't say
So we'll figure out a way to get you taken care of.
Boy, I'm a lucky day.
Yeah, you better buy a lotto ticket. But we use a company that builds a lot of caps and does a lot of windshield caps. So I just need to get with them and figure out, a windshield guy is going to know how to reseal it. But
Right.
yeah, get us your information. Let me dig into a little. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, we didn't reinvent the wheel on it.
Right.
But we may need to do a little reassurance and make sure that we got something ready to go that we could get out like that if we had to.
So, totally different scenario. I got you right here.
Yeah.
Dry camping. We do a lot of NASCAR races.
Yeah.
Always have water, sewer, all that kind of stuff, like New Hampshire, whatever. We use a lot because the on-demand hot water.
Use a lot of water.
Well, yeah, it's in the back. Then you drew all the water to the very front compartment, and then turn around, draw it all the way to the back of the rig for the sink. So that's what I wanted to do, is what he's saying. Can I just go in there, or obviously I can do anything I want with it, but is it there downsides to me shortening that and getting rid of the?
Absolutely not.
No, I mean there's not. It's just like a yeah. No, I mean there's not. It's just like a house. You know, if you want to run a manifold or you want to not run a manifold, you can. But I mean, that is the one downside to the manifold is there's a lot of water in the lines.
Yeah. Right, and then.
Right?
Yeah. The next part of that question, why did you put the manifold in the full pass-through right next to it, the hot water tank?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why did you run it all the way to the front and then all the way to the back?
Convenience for turning it off.
Say convenience for trimming it off.
Right underneath the bathroom. There's a whole
Right,
room.
there's a whole
You can't get-
pass-through
there's a
right
whole
there.
big opening in there. You could have put it right there.
Yeah, I don't have a good answer for you. I wish I did. My guess, unfortunately, my guess is if I asked that question in a meeting, it would be because that's where we always put it.
Yeah.
Which is not a good answer, and I know that. That's my least favorite answer that we have in our plant.
In that same vein,
Yes.
we're thinking about trading in for the front office, which also has
Yeah.
windshield. And I see last night, I think somebody had mentioned something about cracks and chips in the front glasses. Do they make a protective cover for that glass to prevent that?
We don't, but there's a lot of products on the market that you could use, you could use some type of like a diamond shield or similar like films like you would use. Some motorhomes will put them on the front. But one of those like paint glass protective type films you could put over it.
Okay.
So there's not like a specific cover made for it, but any of those type of films, how those guys install those, they're generally on a varied size roll and they roll it and cut it to fit. So
Yeah, somebody had a bird, I think, ran into a bird and it cracked.
I was gonna say those windshields are up high enough that they don't seem to get a ton of rocks. Usually when we get rock chips like on our caps, it's on the lower half of the cap.
Gotcha.
But yeah, a bird would definitely be an issue.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yep. All right. Anybody else? Questions, concerns? Yes.
Just a quick one. Talking about the front caps, are they generally insulated? Is there insulation in that front cap?
Yes. Do you not have it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I can when I pull back the trim from the front cap, I can look straight down. I don't see anything. So my front, and I'm a full timer, so my front end in New York State, upstate New York State, it gets a little chilly. And that front end, it doesn't, I got a lot of cold there.
Yeah, generally the front wall would be insulated.
So the cabinet itself, where the fireplace is, got to remember mine's a little different. I got the prototype.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why we wouldn't have, but
Yeah, and I don't know whether I can just open that up and slide in regular fiberglass insulation, foam, or
I mean, yeah, any of that stuff would work. Normally, we do rolled fiberglass insulation right down the front wall.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
I'm wondering if there is something with that. I don't know if there was something different with that front wall and how it was built because it was a different frame. That I can't remember getting into on that. But yeah, if you are opening it and seeing an open space, doing some insulation there can't hurt it.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I don't know why we wouldn't have on that one.
Well, that's what I thought, but it gets, like I said, it gets awful cold, and in the front end.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if I even want to ask, but how's the AquaHot system working that?
How's what?
The AquaHot system working that?
For the most part, it's good.
Okay.
I don't really have any issues with it. The only thing is the keeping enough hot water to the shower. So I actually added a supplemental hot water heater directly in that bay underneath the shower, and I feed it into there. So we can, if we take 2 showers in a row, we run out of hot water. But now with that supplemental heater, it's all right.
So AquaHot wasn't providing enough heat to do a couple showers. Huh. It's probably because
hot water at any of the sinks is great. But the amount of volume going through the shower, I guess, is just, it can't keep up.
Yeah.
And we have that problem too. The shower is lukewarm, but the other water is hot.
Say for yours it is?
What's that?
You say with yours, the shower's
We have a
lukewarm and everything
signature.
else is
We
hot?
bought a signature and the hot water all around is really hot. The shower doesn't get real hot.
Because there's not enough value making the heater turn the fire on high enough. That's the problem.
No, that shouldn't be the.
Because the hot
On the
water heater
Trumas?
is right outside the shower, right where the shower
Yeah.
is.
Hold on.
Faucet on
But
a little bit.
on a Truma,
Yeah, it's true.
Truma's not hot.
It's not.
it's not.
My wife
all the way
she
up.
just turns the
Yeah,
hot
I
water
have
on.
to turn
That's it.
Well, it only has one temperature.
She only
It's-
it's only
it
got one
doesn't,
time. You can't change it.
I have to turn mine full blast and then back off like a quarter inch to get it just right.
Yeah, she doesn't even use the cold water.
Yeah, mine's just strictly hot for my shower. Nothing.
It's just not enough volume to keep the fire high enough to get it hot through the shower. You don't want to use a lot of water.
No, so the Truma only has one heat setting.
It's it.
Well, that's true, but I mean, I thought that the valve itself could have that. Now that you're,
That-
that issue, because it had anti-scale.
Yeah.
It's adjustment in the faucet.
I guess maybe it's an adjustment in the.
That's how ours is. Each shower.
Yeah. That's probably what it is. It's got to be in that shower faucet. There's got to be an adjustment. Where's Josh here? Josh isn't here.
Of course not.
Yeah, that's convenient. Yeah, so there's.
And adjust the hot and the cold mix into that valve.
Big difference too is that.
And it might just, it's in the faucet itself.
Yeah, it's in the faucet. How it's because that's a valve that's adjusting that back there. That seems like a good project for Josh.
Yeah. We would need to know what make or what model of the shower head you're using, the mixer. I've taken mine apart. Mine does not have an adjustment.
It doesn't?
No.
It's usually not in the shower head.
It's in the
It's behind the handle.
right, it's
that
on the
you turn
handle
the
of
water
the valve
on.
normally.
Yeah.
And you can adjust that, but mine does not have that, the whatever is in mine. And there's no markings on the faucets at all.
On
so-
our previous campers, in the Nautilus system where you have your hot and your cold, if we had those valves on, but not using water, you could only get lukewarm water in the shower. Could only get lukewarm water in the shower. You go outside, you turn the hot and the cold off on the Nautilus, you go inside, water's perfect. I don't know why that
Can be in the
was.
in the Nautilus panel
On the
itself.
Nautilus panel, you have your hose sprayer with your cold on the right, your hot on the left. If those were open, and even though the sprayer is not spraying water, we could not get hot water in our shower. It was just lukewarm. As soon as I would turn those valves off,
It's a pretty complex valve.
I
on
would
the
get
backside.
hot water in the shower. Just something easy to, I have no explanation why, but
Have you ever seen the back of a Nautilus panel?
yes.
Well, there's your explanation. It's a pretty complex series of valves.
Those are the outdoor faucets.
Yeah, the outdoor faucet. So I guess double check that, because that outdoor faucet, if the hose is not hooked up, it's not going to spray any water out, even if the water's on. So double check that those are off there, and then we'll have to get Josh to check and see if there's a valve for mixing behind for the hot water in the handle of that shower. I mean, it has to be something like that if you're getting hot water everywhere else, and it's not a hot water heater issue. And with that manifold, if you're pulling hot, it should just be pulling hot. But if that handle's allowing you to pull some cold in there as well, that's why you're getting lukewarm. It's got to be something like that.
One thing I did do with the manifold, on the cold side for the shower, I put in a flow restrictor. So it cuts back the cold water a little bit.
Okay.
And that helps some.
Okay.
Part of it too is that the right pressure. I went to a couple of campgrounds, I was only getting 35 PSI. I couldn't get consistent hot water at all. If you've got 40, 45, 50,
you're gonna get great hot water performance. It made a big difference making sure you had the correct pressure going in.
Or too much, it doesn't give it enough time to heat.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're not
I
flowing enough volume,
Gotcha.
it's not gonna heat it up.
See, that's one thing why we use a Truma is because it's supposed to take significantly less water to keep that water warm. But it sounds like you still have some issues getting it fully hot.
But that turning
Is-
the outside faucet doesn't make sense because you diverted it.
Yeah.
Coming out. It's wanting to go out that
Mm-hmm.
because it's open.
Yeah, I'm sure that's probably just first stop on the water running through there or something. So,
Yeah, our hot water will run you out. I mean,
I have to turn
you
it
gotta,
down.
you turn it on and
yeah, I can't remember if it's 108 or 120. I think it's 108. 120, is that what it is?
Yeah.
So the Truma always heats it up to? Is that what it is? Okay. Yeah, so that Truma, if you just have your Truma on, it should heat your water at 120 degrees all the time.
We gotta back it off a quarter of an inch or.
On the Truma?
It's too hot.
But you don't have a, what are you talking about backing off a quarter inch?
The volume of water, so in other words, you.
Oh, I got you, the volume of water.
mixing that.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about I was like, the Truma doesn't have a heat setting. I thought you were talking about dialing down your heat setting.
I will say that I've noticed if it's on electric, that it doesn't get as hot. If it's on propane, it gets hotter.
Well, the Truma doesn't have electric.
So what's maybe I don't know what. It's got like the eco,
Yeah.
It's got the different settings.
Yeah, so those are all still going to be propane, but
Okay.
the regular on is going to keep that water at 120 degrees. Eco is going to heat it to 108, and I think it keeps the water in the tank at like 80 degrees instead of 108. Well, and then you have the one with the snowflake is anti-freeze, and it's going to keep the water in the tank around 40 degrees. And then you have your clean setting and off. And I'm sure everyone's had a unit for a little while knows what the clean setting is. But that is a good thing. It is nice. Those water heaters last a lot longer because of that setting.
So that would make sense then.
Yeah.
Speaking of clean setting, how do we know when we need to clean it? Ours is a 24, so we've never cleaned ours.
I always tell it will stop. It'll make you.
Oh, okay.
But I tell people that are, real extended stay or full timer, plan on doing it twice a year. If not, just do it at the end of the season if you're more seasonal. I can't remember. It's a lot of gallons of water. Who here? How much? 1,000 gallons? I thought it was more than that.
Ours is usually every 6 months.
Yeah. It might be 1,000 gallons, though, is still quite a bit of hot water. So, yeah. 1,500? Okay.
We do it in, liters together.
Yeah. It's probably 10,000 liters or something, right? Because at 10,000, it stand out in my head. I'm like, there's no way it's 10,000 gallons. Ah, that's a little tougher. That's tough to do. They're pretty proud of. They do a good job, but they have pretty stringent requirements to allow people to work on their stuff too.